First off, this isn't going to be really easy. I just left the locker room. The team in tears. What was our record this year?
11-19.
It's not an 11-20 locker room. It's a 20-11 locker room. It's a 22-win locker room. It's a locker room that I will do everything in my power to make sure we get that kind of care, that kind of tears, that kind of effort. Overall, I'm going to talk about Boston University for a second. What a job Coach Chambers has done, 10 wins in a row. I just said to the AD, when's the extension? We can laugh, it's not the end of the world. He's such a good basketball coach. He comes from a tremendous family. And you can tell that Boston University plays with tremendous character, and they care about each other. And they made the plays down in the last 5 minutes. As far as my seniors go, we have a saying that we talk about in our program is leave it better than you found it. They left it better than they found it. And, you know, that's one of our biggest goals as a staff is, are we bringing people in that really want to leave it better than you find it? We're not a me world, we're a we world. And they're hard to find. And the 5 guys, you know, they got up and we just honored them in the locker room. You know, they've given so much to this university that I just can't say enough about. I just can't say enough about. And we wish Boston University the best next Saturday. We wish Stony Brook the best. May the best team win.
Thanks, Coach. Questions for student athletes?
Morgan, you were on the 08 team that made it to the championship game. At the beginning of the year when you guys were struggling, did you ever imagine that you guys would have a shot at the title game this year?
That's one of the main things that us seniors try to get through to the younger guys, that we were in the same position 4 years ago, that we were hitting some bumps, and if we just persevered and stuck together, we'd be all right come February and March. And everybody kind of bought into it, and that's what led us up here. So led us up here, we just fell a little bit short tonight.
Genesis, what kind of lessons can you take from the seniors going forward? You're pretty much the leader of the team. What sort of lessons are you taking from the seniors that are back there?
Well, I mean, how hard they practice every day, how hard they went, no matter how we were struggling. I mean, earlier in the year, we struggled, didn't get, before we got our first win, it took a couple L's, and every day they still came in with the same approach that we have to get a win. We have to get a win. It wasn't going downhill. It was more we were picking up the intensity in practice. And that was probably like the biggest thing, that instead of just giving it all away, we stayed together. They kept us together. And that's going to be hard to replace, but I think we could do it.
Any other questions for student athletes? Thanks a lot, guys. Questions for the coach?
Delete that last word.
Coach, run us through those last 11 seconds. Did you want Joe to take that shot?
2,000-point scorer, probably the best player since Vinny Baker came here. And you could argue, he does this, he does that. What he's done for, he could have left this place. But he cares about Hartford. He understands what this place means to myself and the other guys in that locker room. So, at the end of the day, he deserves to shoot that shot. He's earned it. He's earned it. He's done so much for this university. And he's not a guy I wouldn't want. We just put him in his hands.
Do you think he's pleased with that shot selection?
Do I think he's pleased with the shot selection? At the end of the day, probably not. But it's a shot he hit probably 5-6 times this year. So he hit it in the Quinnipiac game, cut it to 2. He hit it in the Sacred Heart game. He hit it in the... So it's a shot he shoots. So, there's certain guys on certain teams, this is my basketball philosophy, that if you're talking about shot selection in their 5th year, it's just something as a bad, maybe it's all the mentors I have, and Steve Donahue being one of them. Shot selection is something that should not be talked about, because if you're talking about it, you got other issues. I really believe that Joe didn't shoot that shot to be selfish. He shot that shot for the team. He really thought he was going to make it.
Coach, with the late success in the season and Andre's coming back, coupled with a bunch of the young guys coming on late in the season, what do you expect from the 2012 month?
Well, we're going to bring in some new faces, some talented guys, and number one thing we try to recruit is character. We try to bring in guys that don't view Hartford as we don't want you, if you're thinking that Hartford's you're settling. You got to really, really want to wear this uniform. A lot of people wear it with pride. Gary Palladino, their teams, Jack Fallon's teams, Paul Brazo's teams. There's guys on those teams that wore that uniform with pride. It's just not gonna, we're not gonna allow someone to think that they have to be grateful. Before they gotta have those qualities before they have jump shots and rebounding abilities.
Coach, you brought in basically all the seniors except for Milton. You were here for Joe, your first year. Your second year, you were here for Ann, Kevin, Morgan. What would you say about those kids? I know you were gone for 2 years, but just them as people, forget the basketball.
It's a great question. It's we were crying in there and a lot of tears. As a young head coach, you say to yourself, 11 and 20, would you want it any other way? Yeah, you want to be 20 and 11, but would you want any other a group of guys? They are my sons. They know that. We have a relationship. All of them, it's a different relationship. I don't love Joe more than I love Anthony. We, as people, like Anthony Minor, we care. We really care about each other. It's not I care more. No, we care about each other. If they didn't, Sam, they would have quit. We had chances this year to just lie down. I don't think tonight we gave that, we just didn't make enough shots. So, to speak, if you want to speak individually about everybody, I just did it. I could go through it with you. Milton Burton didn't really know me, didn't really trust me. Today, it's like we're a part of the same family. Kevin Estes, a total warrior, played on one leg, cares about this university more than anybody. Morgan Sabia, a lot of it has been said. He's been up and down. He's been injured. Morgan came every day with the workmanlike approach, even when hurt. Anthony Minor, I mean, what he's done for his career, he recommitted himself. It's been tremendous. And then the last guy, Joe Zaglinski, you know, I think he changed the face of Hartford basketball. I really do. I really think, forget about made shots, forget about just the warrior. Guy, after the quarter zone shot he got last month, he averaged 21 a game. I know he didn't have it tonight. Joe Zaglinski cared about one thing, winning. He didn't care about making shots. I know that's hard. He did not care 1 second about that. That's why I'm so proud of all of those guys, but especially him too.